We're here with Dr. Karate, dentist. Dr. Karate, tell me a little bit. You know, people are talking a lot about gum disease and
Yes.
also called periodontal disease,
Yes.
also called gingivitis and stuff like that. And here's what I have heard. And you tell me how wrong or how more or less right I am, and elaborate on it. Is
Sure.
it true that when a person has any one of those things, which are all the same, they're just different stages and different names, nomenclature, whatever, but they have an inflammation in their gums. Their gums are swollen, their gums are bleeding one way or
Yes.
the other way, and that action is basically an inflammation which kind of like goes very easy to the bloodstream, because in the mouth we know we're close to the bloodstreams. I mean, if we take salt or something, we revive people that way. It goes very fast in it. We take tablets under the tongue, so they go fast in the bloodstream. When that happens, is that infection, that yellow pus, that's kind of like, you know, when you cut yourself and you get this
Yes.
little reddish thing, that kind of goes fast into the bloodstream, up to the brain, down to the heart, all over the body, and it apparently causes things like liver disease, kidney disease, never mind, we have heard brain damage, I mean, you know, strokes and heart attacks, but also like pregnancy in women, they have large problems, and in general, apparently, it diminishes the immune system drastically, which means people get more colds, more fever, more of those things which couldn't possibly be good. Now, is that over-exaggerated or is something true to it?
That is 100% accurate. Sadly, dentistry and specifically periodontal disease and everything related to it, for some reason gets separated from the rest of the body, and most people look at it in that way. And I always explain to people that periodontal disease or inflamed gums, bleeding gums, are the perfect entryway for bacteria into our system. Most people don't look at it that way until even people that I mention it, like today's all day, the people that had problems, I would mention it. It was like the first time they ever hear it. And it's really amazing nowadays with the amount of information that's there. I mean, you can Google it, you can find out, and you'll find what it is. It is a perfect entryway for bacteria into our system and cause all this havoc in a short period of time or over many years. And for some reason, the medical profession of dentistry and doctors, we don't come together and realizing that's the only area that allows the bacteria to freely roam and go into our body. So I mean, it is exactly what you just said.
So, and then it does cause all the problems. So it looks to me like in the past, and by the past I'm talking, you know, the 10, 20, some whatever years, you know, most, you know, dentists and people, you know, are very concerned about losing a tooth. Like you said, you kind of almost lost a tooth when you were a child, being hit. Now, and that's bad. But at the same token, at the very least, we're not putting wooden tooth anymore in it, like George Washington apparently had. You know, so we can put teeth in it. So the loss of the teeth, to me, based on what you said here, looks to me less important, not that it isn't, than the immune system being lower, the kidney being damaged, maybe having a miscarriage, blah, blah, blah. That looks to be way more severe than losing a tooth even. And it's happening quietly in the background, and people wonder why they have to go to the doctor, why they're tired and exhausted, why they, you know, by the smallest wind and rain, they kind of like get down, when perhaps it's all in here.
I would say there's a little bit of disconnect, unfortunately. For example, the body works the same way as it does in the rest of the body, and how it affects, you know, how it protects itself. As an example, I always explain to people when they have a cavity, when they have an infection on one of their teeth, for some weird reason, people think that, oh, I have this infection on this one tooth. It's like, no, you have an infection in your body. And that infection does not stay on one tooth. It'll go to the next one, to the next one, to the ones right above it. And I always tell people, you're eating, you're producing saliva, it's going to other areas. It's going into your bloodstream. It's going into your joints. It's going to your heart. It's causing all these autoimmune diseases because your body has to defend itself from these bacteria. So in general terms, people that have good, high quality of care and good hygiene and are able to learn that because it's an acquired behavior have overall better health.
And that has been apparently many times proven. Anyway, you said it right. I think there's this disconnect. Maybe the fact that a dentist is a dentist and an MD is an MD, it puts this thing out, well, dentists stay here, so all the problems stay here too, but they don't. In fact, if you look, if a person has a major operation, whatever that may be, that surgeon will demand a clean bill of health from a dentist.
Yeah.
Because if the clean bill of health is not there, the body is too weak to sustain the surgery.
Now, I have an example for you. Today I met a patient, and I'm not going to disclose the illness or disease that they had, but they went in there for basic surgery. And this person ended up having very severe infections, septicemias, and very severe infections. And as an example, the procedure that was done was a very common procedure, and the doctor couldn't figure out where the bacteria came from. My estimate, based on the patient's possibility of what their overall health is in their mouth is, that there is a big likelihood that the bacteria originated from there. Now, that's not something I can prove, but the science behind it does say that the bacteria most probably entered through somewhere, and if it's the only area where there's an open wound all the time, the likelihood is very high.
Thank you very much, Dr. Garrett.